In the last video, we learned how to compute the total interest that accrues on a student loan, as well as the monthly payment if the student did not pay off that interest while in school. In this video, we want to compare two different situations: the situation in which the student does pay off the interest while in school, and the situation in which the student does not. So these two situations are situations in which the interest is either capitalized or not capitalized. Right? So capitalized means that the interest on a student loan is not paid during college. Right? So this capitalized almost has a positive connotation because it sounds like you're maximizing something, but in this context it's the interest that's being maximized. It's the amount you're going to pay. So this is actually a negative connotation for the student. So when interest is capitalized, meaning it's not paid during college, so it's accruing, building over time, and you still have to pay it when you go to start repaying your student loans after you've graduated, in that situation, the interest gets added to the principal balance, resulting in larger payments. So this is what we saw in the last video. We looked at a student, Sonia, who did not pay off that interest, and we had to add that into the principal, which gave her a larger monthly payment. When interest is not capitalized, so this is a good thing, payments must be made during college, but only covering the amount of interest. So in the last video, we looked at some sample amounts for a 30-day month, a 31-day month, and those would be the smaller payments that the student would be making each month to pay off the interest. So let's compare these two situations, and we're going to refer back to the work that we've already done in examples 1 and 2, and we're going to look at Sonia's situation. So we found that in the capitalized situation, where her interest accrues all during school, her total interest was $1,878.11. That got it added into the principal when we went to compute her monthly payment, and she ended up with monthly payments of $96.42. Right? So in this situation where she capitalizes the interest, I'm going to put a frowny face just to remind us this is the one where the interest is not paid off. Right? So we're going to see higher payments. So in that situation, she did not pay any of the interest during school. So then her principal ended up being the amount that she borrowed, which was $6,500, plus the interest that accrued, and the P that we used to calculate her monthly payments was $8,378.11. Okay, we went through and used that formula for R, so let me remind you of what this is. You're going to want to have this handy for this problem as well. And we had, let me find it. R is principal times rate divided by 12, and all of that divided by 1 minus 1 plus R over 12 to the negative 120th power. Alright, so we used 8,378.11 as the principal and found that the monthly payment was $96.42. Okay, so how much does she pay altogether? Right. Well, this is a 10-year student loan. That's built into the formula we're using. We'd have to modify it for a different number of years. All right, so what she's paying would be the sum of the interest paid during school and then all of her monthly payments once she graduates. Okay, so to find the total amount that she paid in that situation, it would be $0 paid during school plus $96.42 times 12, since she's making 12 payments per year, times 10. So that works out to be $11,570.40. All right, now let's compare. Let's look at the situation where interest is not capitalized. All right, so this means that she's going to make monthly payments of interest during school, which means she's going to pay off this total amount of interest. So remember, this is this was 4 years and 3 months worth of interest. So she's going to pay that each month up until the first month where she goes to make her monthly payment. All right, so all of that's paid off. And that means when she goes to find her monthly payment and start repaying the loan, the principal, the amount she owes, is only what she borrowed, $6,500. Okay, so now to find her monthly payment, we're going to rework our calculation for R, but this time using 6,500 as the P. Okay? Now the other thing we need to know is her rate, and I'm pulling this from examples 1 and 2 as well, and the rate was 6.8%. All right, so the monthly payment formula would be 6,500 times 0.068 over 12 divided by 1 minus 1 plus 0.068 over 12, and the exponent is negative 120. Okay, so take a minute, use a calculator, and rework that monthly payment formula and see what the new monthly payment is. Okay. Now I've entered this directly into a calculator and I did not round in the middle of this problem, so I'm getting a monthly payment of $74.80. All right. So if we stop to pause for a minute here, it makes sense that this monthly payment would be lower because there's less to pay off. Right? So that's one of the advantages of not capitalizing interest. You end up with a lower interest payment, or a lower monthly payment. One of the disadvantages is that you do have to make interest payments while in school. So even though the amount per month isn't terribly significant in this example, it still may be a stretch for a college student who doesn't have a lot of funds at the time. All right, so let's also find the total amount that she pays, and the process is the same in this example. It's still the interest paid during school plus the sum of all of the monthly payments that she makes over those 10 years of paying back the loan. All right, so now this time there is some interest that she paid during school, $1,878.11, plus $74.80 times 12 payments per year for 10 years, so that's 120 monthly payments. And that turns out to be $10,854.11. All right, so ultimately in that situation, she will pay less overall in addition to having lower monthly payments. Right. Now let's look at the savings. How much less would she pay in total if she did not capitalize the interest? So this is an easy calculation. You just want to take the two amounts, the total amount she pays if she did capitalize it, and the amount that she paid if she did not capitalize it, and subtract. And that gives a difference of $716.29. Okay? All right, so for homework, I'm going to give you this chart and ask you to compare the two situations, and then I might just ask you some sample questions based on this chart. So one of them would be, how much does she save by not capitalizing interest? I might also ask how much lower her monthly payment is, or how much higher it is if she does capitalize interest, or we would have the problems leading up to this, asking about the total interest that accrues while she's in school, what her interest payment would be each month, or what her monthly payment would be in each of these cases. So I would encourage you to go back over this video if you need another explanation of what each of these things is. Make sure you show your work too, so I'm looking for you to not only fill in this chart, but show me how you got each of the numbers in the chart. All right, so include all of that work, and that's it.